Hola. Um, Hello there. So we're back in my new favorite room. I really am like so astonished with this place. I love it. I don't have to sit at like a tiny little student desk to write. There's whiteboards everywhere. If I needed to write something down on work through an idea or whatever, I love this place. I wish there were more classrooms like this. This is really cool. So yeah, I am back up at UB, and I'm diving into episode 2 today of season 6. If you don't know who I am, my name is Colton Woods. I'm the creator of Strange Trails, a full cast audio drama in the style of Serial. The first season follows two LA natives as they travel to a rural town in West Virginia to investigate folklore about a serial killer they're known as the Shadow Man. The entire first season is available for free to listen to on any podcast platform if you want to listen. This channel is me working toward making season 2 of the show and writing future seasons and also novels of said seasons so that I can eventually release like a novelization of each season. I think that the story holds up in both mediums, so why not do it? In the last video, I started writing season 6. I got through episode 1 relatively quickly. It only took 4 days to write the entire episode, which is crazy. That is so fast. So today we're going to dive into episode 2, and I'm really excited to kind of start getting into some actual shit here. Like the story really does start to like dig in pretty quickly. I know that like the main mystery or whatever is going to be a little bit background. It's going to be a little bit background this season to start, but it'll kick in. There are a lot of other threads and character arcs and plot lines and all that stuff that need to be set up first. So episode 2, I would say the first probably I don't even want to say 3 episodes. Like it's maybe the first 2.5 episodes are kind of set up for this season. And by the time we get to the end of episode 3, I would say we're actually in the main storyline for the season. It kind of starts pretty quickly in this season overall, percentage-wise, based on how many episodes there are. And so, yeah, so I would say 2.5 episodes of setup is really not that crazy. It's actually pretty light compared to previous seasons. They only had 10 episodes. And so for there to be more episodes in those seasons that I would consider setup, this one's really kicking in pretty quickly if by the time we get to episode 3 we're doing things. But that is next episode. Episode 2 is we're getting a lot of the types of scenes this season, and we haven't really seen any in season 1, so it's going to be a little bit different going forward. But in season 2 onward, you do see a lot more scenes of the characters interacting outside of like an interview setting where they are specifically sitting down to talk to this person about this topic, and then that's it, and then the clip starts and ends in that moment. Starting in season 2, we do kind of get a lot more it's more fluid. Like you're hearing stuff before the interview, you're hearing stuff after the interview, you're hearing things that are not even interview moments sometimes. So this episode in particular is kind of heavy on that type of stuff where it's not actually sitting down to interview people about this thing yet. So what else are they doing? What else is happening? And we are going to see a lot of basically extraneous things this season. This season is probably the largest scope, the largest scale that I've done for a season. And so, this was obviously part of the planning process where I was nervous about going too big and then not being able to live up to that, the ideal version of what I would want that story to be. These scenes that I'm writing now are some of those scenes that are meant to start to build out that scale a little bit and to help you see okay, this is stuff that is affecting a lot of people. It's really not good. And let's explore that. Let's talk about that, even though that's not that wouldn't necessarily fall under the purview of this show, under the characters who are making the podcast. The things that they're talking about this season don't necessarily fall under the umbrella of what that podcast should be focusing on, but it's following them as they're handling all these other things while they're doing this other investigation, and other things are coming up. I feel like I'm being kind of vague, and that's where we're at. It's gonna be a cool season, I hope. I'm ready to dive in. So I actually, full disclosure, I did start writing this episode yesterday, and it's going to be a pretty heavy studio kind of opening, which is fine, but I do want to get into some of these like actual like conversations going on. But whenever I have to do like heavy studio stuff to set up an episode, it always makes me a little nervous because I don't want to bore the audience. I don't think it's boring, but I do worry that people will be like, I don't want to listen to one person talking. I want to hear like the interaction, like I'm listening to a full cast audio drama. I want the full cast. And this is a little bit monologue-y, I guess we'll say, to start. And, but it'll be worth it. It'll be worth it. So I have to just trust my gut on this because that's what I'm doing. I'm going to continue writing episode 2 and try to get into an actual scene today. Hopefully write that scene. That's the goal. And we'll see where we land. And enjoy writing in this little workspace while we have it. All right, here we are, back. It's been a couple hours. I have all my shit packed up because I actually paused on writing to go watch the sunset. It was genuinely such a nice sunset. So, this is, I mean, look at that. Like, how do you sit in a classroom when that's what's happening outside? So I watched that for a little bit. And now I'm back. I was going to, in my head, I was like, okay, I'll go watch the sunset for a little bit and then I'll come back in and I'll continue writing because I've only written about 10 pages today, which is not nothing. And it is, 10 pages is the goal amount of pages per day. So I did technically hit my goal for the day, but I didn't finish the scene that I wanted to actually write today. I just kept getting distracted. It is tough to come up here with less than 2 hours before sunset because I do want to watch the sunset because here's the thing. In California, I used to live in LA. Out there, you get nice sunsets pretty much any time of the year. You can run into a nice sunset or a nice sunrise. It's really, you start to get used to it and you kind of take them for granted. Out here, you get nice sunsets during the summer, and then that's kind of it. The fall, the winter especially, and the spring, they're really rainy, they're really cloudy, it's gloomy, it's gross. It's not a nice, pleasant experience. There's no good sunset really that you can rely on. Sometimes you get lucky and there is a good one every now and then where there just happens to be relatively clear skies, but mostly if you're trying to find a nice sunset in Buffalo, it's gonna happen during the summer. That's just how it works. And so I gotta go watch them when I have a night where I'm not working and also the weather is cooperating. I have to take that. So, but in doing that, I did sort of knock myself out of the writing zone a little bit, and I don't know that I'm going to continue writing. I know myself enough to know that I feel like I've kind of hit the limit on what I'm going to get done today. The scene as I wrote it, it feels fine. I'm going to say this is probably the first scene that I feel a little disappointed in as far as what the writing felt like. It didn't come easily or as easily as I thought it would. The part that you watched, the part that you saw the time lapse of, the studio segment, that flowed. That was really easy. But then the actual scene itself, which is usually the easy part, is just writing the conversation between the characters. That was not flowing as easily. It was, again, introducing 4 characters. I still have I think another one that I have left to introduce in the scene. It's kind of crazy how many people are getting it. All of these scenes are doing so much work. So there's a lot happening in pretty much every scene, which does make them feel a little bit overwhelming to try to write because it feels like there's a lot of pressure on them to get them right and to have everything kind of fit together the way that I imagine that it could. So I think the pressure that the time limit is the other thing that really threw it off is if I'd gotten up here at 4 p.m. and the sun wasn't going to set till 9 p.m., that's plenty of time. I definitely could have gotten the scene out of the way before then. I wouldn't have had to feel so rushed and stuff. I can't be here at that time. That's too early for me to have done all the things that I wanted to do and then come up here and eat and, all that stuff. So I have to exist, and these are the limits. So this is where I'm at. So I do feel a little bit disappointed about how this one went. I can just sort of hang my hat on the fact, though, that first of all, the scene's not done yet. I will come back to it presumably tomorrow and, flesh it out a little bit more. as I finish it, but also potentially go back and reread bits and pieces and like add things here and there to clarify stuff and maybe add some different types of interactions and stuff between the characters. I don't know. I can't promise anything, but that would be the hope, so that the scene, so that by the time I move on from the scene, I don't feel like this sort of like, oh God, there's still so much left to do with that. Like that's not ready to be read. Because I don't want to finish writing the season and then be like, and this scene needs to be completely written from the ground up. Like, I don't want that type of stuff going on. I want to basically feel good. I know that there are going to be things I have to go through and like, oh, this detail came up. I need to add that here, here, and here so that it, it tracks throughout the season or whatever. That I understand. I'm going to have to do that before I can actually go through and read it. But I don't want to be like having this list of full on big ass rewrites that I, am not going to enjoy doing. So I would rather just handle them in the moment if possible. Anyway, so that's where I'm at. The weather still very nice outside, so I am going to go walk around and enjoy that, because this is probably the last time I'll be up here for a while. So yeah, I'm just going to have to take it in while I have it. So I will see you in the next clip, which could be as soon as tomorrow, or for you right now. Well, hello there. Surprise, it's August. It's been a while. I don't think I made any clips at all in the past month. It's Saturday, August 8th, 7:30 p.m. Up at UB. Finally, this classroom's open again. They locked them all at the beginning of summer, and I guess at some point they decided, what the hell, we'll open them up. So here we are. I have had a busy little while. So I genuinely don't remember what the last clip I recorded has in it. I don't know where I was in episode 2 at that point. All I can say is that I completed episode 2, and then I went on vacation for a week and a half. I went to Yellowstone National Park, which I'm probably showing you some pictures right now. Super beautiful. We started in Glacier National Park, and then we went down to Yellowstone, and then we ended the trip at Grand Tetons, which I'd never even heard of that park before, but wow, the view there is like crazy, crazy good. So, but yeah, we got to see bison, and we got to see Old Faithful. We got to see all sorts of crazy stuff in the national parks. And, I'm glad that I got to see it totally full of once-in-a-lifetime views, many of which I already have forgotten, because there's just so many of them happening. At like every turn, you're seeing like another gorgeous vista. It's like crazy. So regardless, I didn't get any writing done during that point, but when I came back, I started working on episode 3 right away, and I was fully intending on like doing clips and being like, oh, this will just be an episode 2 and 3 video. We're going to just combine them or whatever. And then all my episode 3 writing was done at home in like small little spare moments, and I never really had the opportunity to actually make a clip with that. So surprise, episode 3 also done. I finished it earlier today at home. So here I am, potentially starting episode 4 in a little bit. I don't know for sure, but yeah, this season is going to be so crazy. There are so many lines that I've gotten to write, especially in episode 3, where I'm like typing away and I'll be like, oh, that's going to pay off later. And it makes me so fucking happy how much the planning has like paid off, like just how intricate and how in depth all those charts and graphs and the template and everything, and all of my notes full of paragraphs and paragraphs of stuff. It was totally worth it. It was totally worth it because it made writing these scenes so much easier. Not that they're like, I guess, easy to write. Like I don't sit down and just like get them all done in 20 minutes or whatever. Like it does take all day to do a scene usually, but it's coming together in a way where I know that the scene is doing what it needs to do in the overall structure of the story. I'm not guessing like, oh wait, do I need to talk about that here? Like, do they need to know that yet? Or like all those notes, all that time I spent going back over our voice notes and transcribing them so that I could have that information saved properly. And I know what needs to come up, and most importantly, what cannot come up at certain points in the story, because the characters, if they know that too early, then it's going to throw something off in this next episode, so I have to be careful about that stuff. And it's already taken care of. Like Past Colton did his shit. He took care of that, and we got it. It's under control. So that's my main thing, is I think so far this season definitely the most intricate, but I also think that it's going to have the biggest payoff. It's going to have the highest reward for the investment. There's a lot of characters. There are so many characters. I looked at on the overall template, I have that huge list of characters that I've been keeping this entire time as I was planning the season out, being like, well, that's a character that's going to be in this scene. That character's going to be in a scene. That character's going to be in a scene. And I have, as I've gone through, been organizing them in the order that we meet them, so that I can look back and kind of know, based on where I see them, what episode we probably meet them in. Out of this huge list of basically every character that I have come up with for the season so far, half of that list has already been introduced. Half of the characters that we are going to meet throughout the entire season have been introduced in the first 3 episodes. Like, it's kind of an overwhelming amount of characters. It is a lot of characters, and I know that's going to be a lot for people to take in. You're going to have to listen multiple times. I can say that with like absolute certainty. Nobody is going to be able to follow every single thread of this season in one listen. Like, it's just not going to happen. Because I'm not even going to be able to do that. This is a puzzle story, and it is meant to be re-examined through the lens of like understanding where things end up. You're going to have to go back and listen again and re-experience or reread it when the book comes out, so that you can actually follow and see where everything was being hinted at previously. So yeah, I'm very, very excited with how this is going. I like genuinely feel so good about this. I am technically a little bit behind schedule on where I wanted to be. My original goal was to be done with episode 3 before I went on vacation. And here we are like 2 weeks back from vacation, and I just finished episode 3 today. So I am a little bit behind. I'm not going to stress about that too much, and here's why. Because the original plan was to finish writing the season before Black Friday this year, basically the last week of November, because at that point I get really, really busy at work for the entire month of December. I really don't have that much free time, but I technically can write during those times. It's just that I would rather be able to just fully relax after work, and, you know, because I work like 10-hour days a lot during that time. I really don't have as much free time there, but I can do it. So realistically, if I need to, I can make it work. And so it's not going to be the end of the world if I don't hit the goal of finishing by Black Friday, which right now, yeah, it's gonna be a tough one to try to make that happen. But I'm not gonna lose sleep over that right now. There's time to catch up, but there's also there's buffer there. If I really need it, I can do stuff so that I can definitely finish the season before the end of the year. So that's where I'm at with episodes 2 and 3. I'm ready for episode 4. I'm ready to really start getting things going, and I will take you along. I promise there will be more clips of the actual writing process going forward, starting with episode 4 in the next video. So I will see you next time I make a video.